Welcome to this 2019 webinar of how to sell on Amazon FBA, where I'm going to be showing you the methods that I use to generate thousands of pounds a month selling simple products on Amazon UK, and how these methods have allowed me to travel the world over the last year, working from my laptop, visiting places like Bali and Croatia. Now, before this, I was a qualified teacher, so let me just explain one thing first. There is some more advanced training that I offer with my Amazon FBA Elite Academy. Now, I will be talking about this a little later on in the webinar and some of the promotions that I've got on at the moment. Now, the idea of this webinar is to give you an insight into Amazon FBA, to jumpstart you on your journey, if you will, to give you a real grounding and understanding of the most important factors to consider before you embark on this journey. And I can tell you, it is an exciting journey to be on. I've had the most phenomenal 2 years of my life, traveling the world. I bought a house, I bought my dream car. It's been a whirlwind of an experience, but I've loved every single step. Now, I'm not just going to show you the methods that I use. I'm going to show you how my students have been able to replicate these methods and earn thousands of pounds a month on Amazon FBA themselves. Now, I've recently started my Amazon FBA 10K Elites Award. Students who surpassed £10,000 on Amazon. We've got many students who are in this club, and it's something that I want to promote and encourage people to be enthused about. The possibility of earning £10,000 on Amazon really is powerful. Now, in this training, I want to break down the most important 3 key features. So we're going to get straight into the training now. So get your pen and paper to hand, ready to make notes, and I'll see you on the other side. Welcome to this 2019 webinar, everyone. Thrilled to have you here with me today. It's a super exciting one. Going to be delivering to you some invaluable content and show you exactly how to sell on Amazon. So I'm a qualified teacher, so I hope that you can recognize that in the delivery that I provide to you today. The information is clear and concise, and you can make notes. And I want you to leave this webinar with confidence. I want you to leave the webinar with the feeling that you've got the ability to do this, and you're going to get that through what I'm going to show you throughout this webinar. So make sure you stay tuned until the end and don't miss a single thing. Now, who am I to be teaching you this? Firstly, so I want to show you some results. That's the first thing you're going to be thinking right now is this really possible? You know, can you make a passive income from your laptop or your mobile, working from home, or when you're traveling the world, or if you're working a full-time job? Is it possible? So I'm going to log into my Amazon seller account now from Google, live on Google, and show you what I've turned over the last year since I began, from the beginning of 2017. And just today, for example, I haven't actually checked my sales today, so it's going to be interesting. I hope the figures are looking okay. So if we type in Amazon seller here, we will see the top of the results. We have the Amazon Seller Central platform. Now, this is where we sign in. So my information is pre-filled there, and this is like an extra layer of protection. So we'll log in, and I use my two-step authentication just to make sure that my account is fully protected, basically, and obviously it doesn't let me in. So let's try that one. There we are, perfect. So here we are. Now it's about 4 p.m. on Sunday at the moment, and we can see here 11 units today, so about £300 today. We'll probably end on about £600 or £700 today. Now, this is passive income, so I've done nothing today. I've actually driven up to visit my partner's sister to have some lunch, and I've done absolutely no work with this today, meaning, you can do it with a full-time job. Now, let me just show you up at this little level here of the screen. Now, recent payment. So that was paid into my bank on the 7th of February, £2,500, and my balance at the moment, so that's what's sitting there, is £5,000, which will be dispersed to my bank on the 21st of February. Every 2 weeks is actually when Amazon pays you. So very quickly, let's go into my business reports, and I want to show you how much I've generated from selling on Amazon. So we're going to look at this date range report here, and we're going to set this for February the 17th, 2017 to today. So we'll apply that. We can see there almost £306,000 selling on Amazon, right? The first year I did this, out of 2 years, the first year I was working 60-hour weeks as a teacher when about 130 of this was generated. The remaining 170 has been whilst I quit my job and whilst I've been traveling around, visiting here, there and everywhere. Lucky enough to be able to say that. So just to show you that this is real, first and foremost. Now, I also want to jump in to this section and show you some student results, because it's all good and well me showing you, I've been able to do it, but I want to show you how my students have been able to replicate the methods that I use here that you can see in front of you, and how they've been able to produce results like this as well. Now, my profit margins are around 50%. So £150,000 of this is profit, which is incredible. And I pinch myself. I'm going to pinch myself, to believe that this is actually happening. And to someone with no online experience, no business experience, just an average teacher. I'm trained to be a teacher. I love teaching, which kind of why this side of things works so well. My coaching. So let me jump in and show you some student results. So very quickly, let's visit my website. So if we search for Amazon FBA UK course on Google. So number 3, and let's click on the link. Now this is my website, and let's just show you some of I've got, again, some testimonials here, which you can feel free to go and have a look. Some students that I've got, Fabian, Neelan, Ed. A lot of my students are camera shy, which is why I haven't got lots of student testimonial videos, but this is more than most people. Now, some results. So this is Neelan. He makes about £12,000 a month selling on Amazon. This is the screenshot that he sent me when he, at the end of the month of January this year, 2019. Again, Tony has seen results, £7,000, £8,000 a month selling on Amazon. Again, fantastic. Very happy for Tony. Worked with him very closely. And if we go down, we have further results here from Jamie, David, lots of different people who've been under my wing, if you will, following the course, using my mentorship, and launching successful products on Amazon, which is what this is all about. Now, I would say 98% of my students work full time, but their dream and their sort of overall goal is it's not necessarily to quit their job initially. It's just to get an extra £500,000 worth of income. Whilst working an average job. We have students who work in retail, students who work in shops, students who, I've got one student who's a teacher, students who work in finance, students who are students at university, and even people who are in sixth form, 18, and they've just in the second year of sixth form. So again, all these people are normal people. If we go down, again, more student results, and I've got a larger bank of even more student results, but I would be here all day if I was flicking through everything. And if we go down, some of my results, so again, £15,000 in 7 days on Amazon, which was actually my best 7 days ever. Again, £2,500 day there selling on Amazon. This is all from your app. So again, here's my phone. So I'll just very quickly show you my Amazon app, and it will correlate with what I've just shown you for my daily sales. I think it was 11. So if we see there, it's going to be back to front, but you can just about see there. So passive income, right? 2019 is the year to be generating passive income. I don't understand why more people are not doing this. It's probably because people haven't heard of it yet. But anyway, those are just some results that I wanted to show you. So no previous business experience required. Normal people like you and I, the possibility is real. You need very little capital to start up. You can get your product launched in just a few months, and you can do it all while working a full-time job. If you're willing to follow a solid training program and work hard, the initial stages, you have to put work in. It's not just to click your fingers and it works overnight. We need to find products. We need to private label them and launch them on the Amazon platform. So again, this is what this training is for. What I also wanted to show you very, very quickly was, where I've been traveling wise and the Amazon income that was coming in at the same time. So I'm going to show you some monthly figures from my Amazon business, and also show you on my Instagram where I was at the time that was happening. I believe that's quite powerful. How can you in the modern day make money whilst being, in another country working from your laptop? It is absolutely phenomenal. So if we look, this is the most recent photo. So again, I've just been to the French Alps. This was a day ago, so very recent. But if we scroll back, let's scroll back to some time I spent in Croatia this year. So we'll whiz back, and I believe it was August time. So there should be a photo of me out there. So it was here. So this is me in Croatia. As you can see there, Croatia Harbour in Split, and that was August the 14th, 2018. So if we go into my sales dashboard and let's have a look at my August sales for 2018. So let's have a look here. August 1st, actually. August the 1st to August the 31st, 2018. So that full month. So we can see there, nearly £18,000 on Amazon, and I spent 2.5 weeks of that time just chilling in Croatia. So incredible, right? Again, passive income, showing you that you don't need to have a base to do this. So also, if we've scrolled back slightly here to April, May time, where I visited Bali, I was working there for 3 weeks. Now we can see the sales I had at that point, £5,500, and that was on the Gili Islands in Bali. And we can see here, that was, I think, the second week, £1,000 that day, whilst being on an island, sipping on a margarita. It's just bizarre. And again, if we go back here to April 2018, and we'll run that report from April the 1st to April the 30th, and we can see what did I do. So £20,000, over £20,000, whilst 3 weeks of those 4 in Bali. So again, I'm trying to just show you that this is possible. That's the only reason I'm showing you this, is so you can see, the correlation between where I was and what I was earning, which is quite powerful. So let's begin. I want you to have a good grounding and concept, a good understanding of the foundations of this process. How does it work? How is it possible? So I'm going to give you a brief insight and introduction into the Amazon FBA private label business model. Now, there's a few different Amazon models, but private label is the one that I chose because it's the most profitable and it's the most passive and it's the easiest to do. Now, what I mean by private label is we sell our own private branded products on the Amazon marketplace. So an overwhelming percentage of sellers on Amazon are private label sellers. Now, there's this misconception that, Amazon are who sell products on Amazon, when in reality it's not Amazon. It's similar to eBay. Mass majority of people are private label sellers. They are searching for profitable products to sell on Amazon. They are then sourcing those products from, sometimes in the UK, they sometimes source from China because it's a lot cheaper to have products produced. They then create their own brand name and logo. They put it on those products and they have them imported, which is a very, very easy process, imported into the UK and sent into Amazon's fulfillment centers. So if we look at this for an example, this is a phone holder, okay? A blank phone holder. This would be an example of something that you could private label yourself. And what I'm going to do now, just to give you an idea of some of the figures, I'm going to cut this clip and just show you some software that you can use to find out how much money private label sellers are making with their products every single month. So I'm going to cut that now and explain a little bit about that. So what I want to do here, everyone, is give you a demonstration of the type of products that are out there and the money that they are making and how we actually determine that. What software do we use to accurately tell us how well a product is doing? You're probably thinking, how is this? Is it possible for this to be done? Well, we can actually do this very, very accurately. So let's use this example here. Now, we use software called Jungle Scout. This is one of a couple of options. It's very cheap, but very effective software that we can use to establish revenue and lots of other variables from certain listings. So if we look at resistance bands, for an example, I decided to swap over to resistance bands, a little bit more exciting. I have students who are selling products within this niche in the sports and outdoors niche and doing really, really well. So I thought I'd look at a product like this. Now, if we look at this, it's called the Jungle Scout Chrome extension. So it sits on your Jungle Scout. And I'm going to whiz through this just to show you. So if we see here, the products that you're seeing along the left side here, are reflections of what's on the page. Okay, so it's showing you all of the products that are visible on the Amazon page for the search term resistance bands. Now let's look at some of these figures. So INTEY, £9,000 a month in revenue. Let's assume a 40% margin. That's about pushing £4,000 a month in profit with 54 reviews. 4,000, 18,000, 2,000, 9,000, 13,000, 9,000. These are all separate listings, right? All separate listings that are all generating that revenue every single month. Now, I use this software for my own products, and it's very accurate. It always calculates the revenue between, I would say, about £25 to £50 either way at any point in time. Now, if we have a look at this one, just as an example, LYOU, I'm guessing that stands for Love You. There's £4,000 a month. Now let's have a quick look at where these sellers are based. China. So China, that's their address. So they are shipping products from their own country into Amazon FBA warehouses in the UK and turning over £4,000 a month. So around £2,000 profit. They're not even here. And imagine the quality of these types of listings when, typically you have companies that list products and don't speak great English. They haven't got much creativity. They can't get reviews. We live in the UK. We can build brands better than anyone else. And again, this shows you how this is possible. So some really impressive figures there. And I wanted you to just have an insight into that and how we do it. Now, there's a lot more that goes into it, but I wanted you just to have an idea. So back we are now. We've got an idea now of the concept of private label. Of how we get it into the UK. We then have the benefit now of making the most of Amazon's fulfillment centers. Now, this is one of the key elements of the private label business model. It's passive. We don't store the products at our home. You're not going to have your wife or your husband or your kids. Oh, Dad, I'm tripped over all of the boxes that have been laying out in the hallway or in the lounge. They're all stored externally. So you can see this is from the Amazon website. I've got this this little illustration here. So your products, imagine now 200 of these units. They're sent into Amazon straight from China or the UK directly into an Amazon FBA warehouse. Now, in the meantime, or prior to that, you had set up a listing. We've had images created. We've got a perfect, well-written listing with a few reviews on, and your product is ready to go. Now, as soon as those products go into Amazon, they go live, what we call it live on their website, and you have access to the hundreds of millions of customers who shop on the Amazon marketplace. Now, from there, they're stored in that warehouse. As soon as an order is placed, you get notified on your Amazon Seller app. Amazon will then locate your product, pick, pack, and ship it out to the customer, meaning that you don't have to do a single thing at all. Now, following this, if there's any returns or any customer service that needs to be dealt with after the purchase, Amazon take care of all of that as well. Now, think of this logistically, comparing it to eBay in your head now. You can run this business whilst working a full-time job because you don't have to do anything once the product has launched. You've got very, very little work to do, which we'll talk about in a later stage of the webinar. But at this stage is just to have the understanding of how the model works. We private label a product, we ship it into Amazon FBA, their warehouses. They take care of the order being placed, shipping, delivering and ensuring that returns are dealt with, and also customer service as well. So quite a fantastic business model when you think about it. You could do this from home, from working abroad like I've been doing. You can do it whilst running working a full-time job or running a business. It's quite fantastic. So again, you'll be seeing a lot of Amazon FBA. As your interest starts to grow, you'll be seeing a lot of it in the future. Now you've got a good grasping of how the private label model works. I want to just introduce to you the first 3 golden points. So these are points that I want you to take away from this webinar with a good understanding of and a good grounding of basically once you can conquer these 3 points and understand that you can overcome these 3 points, you will be successful on Amazon. These are the main reasons that stop people being successful on Amazon, and with a lot of other walks of life as well. Now, these are my main 3 points, and we'll look at these in more detail further on in the webinar, but I'll just mention them now. So you need to avoid the online pipe dream myth. So It's one of the biggest pitfalls that I see over and over again, and it will ruin every prospect that you have with any online business. Secondly, realize that almost anyone has time for this if they look in the right places, if they know what they're doing. This business model is not time consuming, and one of the things that prevents people from ever becoming successful and even starting is the fallacy or the misbelief that they will not have time to do so. And again, thirdly, really important, following a proven structure and step-by-step process. And again, a model I use, bilinear scaling. It's a method which will prevent you wasting lots of time trying to work things out, piece things together, and becoming confused. So 3 points. Now I'm going to elaborate a lot more on those when we move on into the later stages. So let's look at this business model. How is it perfect for almost anyone? Okay, and that's a bold statement, but I'm going to explain what I mean. And I'm going to back it up, and it's got a lot of foundations behind that statement with what I've done and what hundreds of my students have done. So you do not need to be tech savvy is absolutely correct. So if you have, you're not very computer literate, you're not, you haven't got a lot of experience online, actually being comfortable using a laptop, it doesn't matter. As long as you have the fundamental skills, you can turn a laptop on, you're used to browsing the internet, and you have a reasonable capability of being able to learn, then that will suffice. So people have this concern that this is going to be very technical, I'm not going to be able to do this. 95% of my students are not, they're not whiz kids on computers, they're not geniuses, they're normal people with normal jobs. This business model really is catered for the masses. It's very simple. Their systems are simple, user friendly, and easy to actually learn and adapt to. So don't have that inhibition inside, thinking that I'm not going to be able to do this because I'm not very technically savvy. Anything that maybe if you consider a few elements of the process to be more complicated than others, that's where the support network is, will come into play. You have that support with, for example, a course and mentorship program. Any aspects that maybe push you slightly out of your comfort zone, you have the full support there to make sure that you are able and capable to do those things, and you're not left on your own. Number 2, right? Don't know what to sell. Another big problem that people encounter, that they feel like they can't start because they haven't got anything to sell. Now, as you've seen from the demonstration on Jungle Scout, there's hundreds of products to sell. I actually give away 400 private label product ideas, categories, niches within my welcome pack. Now, the whole point of a mentorship and course program is that you're guided, you're given the knowledge, and you're given the direction to make sure that you can go out there and you know where to look, you know what products to find, you know what criteria to look for. We want big products or small products, we want slender products, profitable products, do we want products in certain categories? All of it is mapped out for you, which means that you don't feel lost when you begin. You start and you have a very clear vision of, okay, this is what I'm looking for here. And I know how to go and find it. So don't worry about not knowing what to sell, because I worried about not knowing what to sell. Students messaged me the same thing, but after a few weeks into the course, they've got a very good grounding, and they're sending me 4, 5, 6 product ideas a day. So don't worry about that one. Now, again, logistically, you don't have to worry about answering phone calls, posting products, shipping products, dealing with returns. It's all outsourced. We've touched on that one. That's one of the main facilitators that makes this business model perfect. You don't do anything. You just set everything up right in the right way, and then it's all carried out externally. The logistical side of things is taken care of. So by Amazon, obviously. Now, point number 4, you don't need to build your own website. People are under the false belief, I'm going to have to build my own website and sell products on there. With Amazon, you're harnessing and leveraging their own platform. Now, this is a platform that was valued at $1 trillion. This is a platform that hundreds of millions of customers, their eyeballs, scanning the pages day in, day out. You've got an opportunity to put your product on their platform. You don't have to worry about building a website. It's not technical. We get back to the technically savvy point. Building a website, even though there are quite easy ways to do it these days, you don't need to. It's all set up on Amazon for you to just put your images and your descriptions in, and you can launch a product. So again, hundreds of millions of ready to purchase, we call them, customers. They go to Amazon knowing what they want, and you put that product in front of them, and the volume of searches is 80, 90,000 searches in some categories a day for certain products, and you want to be there to put it in front of them. Again, launching a product, one reason that makes this business model very attractive is that you can do it very quickly if you put a little bit of effort in. Again, I tend to recommend between 5 and 10 hours a week. The initial stages, don't be put off by that. Remember, the 5 or 10 hours a week is the groundwork that you put in. Now, once that groundwork has been put in, then the business model becomes passive. Once you launch your product, after say 2 months, typically 2 or 3 months, you then sit back, you monitor your seller app, and you track sales. But other than that, obviously, you're most likely to be working full-time, as I was for the whole year that I was running the business. The first year, I worked full-time, 60, 70-hour weeks. Some weeks went up to that high when I was marking and planning. I ran it all from my laptop and my phone whilst that was going on. And actually, I remember sitting in class, it was Christmas time, and I checked my phone and checking my sales because you just can't help it. And it was my best day I've ever done, £2,500 by sort of 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon whilst I was in class, thinking to myself, how have I done this today? How have I possibly sold 100 units today whilst working? Because Amazon are doing all of the legwork. So 2 months to 3 months to launch. If you put the 5 to 10 hours in at the beginning for the first 8 weeks, that's where everyone can find that time. 1 hour after work, and maybe 2.5 hours on a Saturday and 2.5 on a Sunday, just for the 8 weeks to get the groundwork done and the base model created. So last point, again, this is scalable, a very important point. I launched one product, made £1,000 a month. Once it was launched, I had nothing to do. I launched product 2, suddenly £2,000 a month comes in. I'm rounding up thousands here, but it was around those figures. Nothing to do. Product 3 launched, and I actually launched from a certain number. I launched 4 all at the same time because I was just so confident this business model was working. And I then scaled up to 13 products, and now I still do pretty much, give or take 10 minutes a day, the same amount of work with 13 that I did with 1, because the only work goes in is at the beginning, and then it becomes passive. So you can scale the business up to 6 figures, 100,000 a year. I'm currently doing about $250,000 a year. Last year, just shy of $250,000 in revenue. Profit margins at about 50%. So it's quite amazing. Quite amazing. And meanwhile, being able to enjoy life and not be staring out of your office window wondering what could be. So one of the reasons, or one of many reasons, why this business model is just, I'm so passionate about it. It is perfect. So what gave me the encouragement to take action? So a little bit of an insight quickly into this. So one of the hardest parts is taking action, right? Thinking to yourself, you know what, I can do this. I've got the capability to do this, and I'm going to go for it. Now, for me, I was actually exposed to this through a friend, a very close friend of mine. I still train with him in the gym. He launched a company on Amazon, his own brand, private label brand on Amazon, whilst I was working as a teacher, making hundreds of pounds a day. And I was just thinking, how on earth are you doing this? And he didn't do anything that day. The product was launched. He'd just been chilling at home, monitoring stock, looking for other products to launch, basically. And I'd have worked a 9-hour day, met him at the gym thinking, this is just beyond belief. And that exposure for me convinced me, because everyone's got this, this inability to accept that these things happen. It's just not possible for these things to be happening. But in the modern day society with technology in 2019, this is happening. And it's happening for the minority of people who take action and go for it. So that's what got me into this. And I obviously launched, scaled, and here I am now, 18 months to 2 years on. 3 golden points. Now, this is something I want you to take notes on this, because this is extremely important, and the sort of 3 core elements that underpin the webinar. So the online pipe dream myth. This is what's going to stop you ever doing well online on anything in life, especially with Amazon FBA. And that is the fallacy, the false belief that you cannot make income working online. You cannot make income while you sleep. All these things, they do sound cliche. They sound quite far-fetched, but it really is true with Amazon FBA. If you can, and like myself, I felt slightly uncomfortable starting this journey. I was explaining to people what I was going to do, and people would just say, well, that just can't be true. It can't work. What you're reading, you're just gullible, and it's never going to work. And a lot of people did say that to me. My partner said that to me. Lots of people said it to me. Didn't understand. And you have to sort of, separate yourself from those sort of thoughts and the direction, conforming to society. Whatever everyone else does, they get a job, they do the same thing, they moan about it, but you have to separate yourself from that. When they zig, you zag, go the other way, and think outside the box, which is what I did. And it's a difficult thing to do because it's easier to just go that way, right? But the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. Now, if you go to work every day over and over and over and you want something different, but you're not doing anything about it, nothing will change. And I knew this. So I separated myself. I went for it. I had the moment where I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this my all. All of these success stories, all of these people online who are doing really, really well, this is real. It's happening. I've read all about it on Amazon, on Forbes magazine, and I am going to put my all into it and overcome this online pipe dream myth that you can't do it. And anything online is a scam, and to just ignore it all because it's just false. It's wrong. And this is what I would say, huge proportion of people who don't end up doing this, this is why. And I speak to people, who on my course, we've got over 330 students. This is one of the main reasons that people had hesitated for weeks to contact me. And then when they did, they enrolled in the whole academy and bundle, and they started to find products and started to launch and see success. And they thought, wow, why on earth aren't people doing this? And you can see that from the testimonials on my website from real students who had given you their insight into FBA, about their experience with the whole process, and the barriers that you come up with in your mind, why you're not going to do it. So honestly, you have to go for it, and just think about it. You're partnering up with a monster, Amazon. You're becoming a combined force. It cannot be stopped. They are just progressively moving forward year after year, exponential growth year upon year, and you've got access to that through Amazon FBA. So partnering up with them is a no-brainer, especially with the whole process and structure in place. Now, if we move on to point 2, again, people actually rationalizing to themselves, and this is one of the things that people do, and I did, and similar with the online pipe myth concept, that you rationalize to yourself why you can't do something, right? You haven't got time, haven't got enough motivation. You're not going to be capable of doing it. It's too hard. You haven't got enough computer experience. It's not real. Again, time being one of the main factors. This business model doesn't require much time. I've mentioned the time scales. I've got students who are students in university in late sixth form. I've got students who are mothers working from home. I've got students who are corporate finance executives. I've got teachers on the course, people from all walks of life, but they're committed to making a change and they really want to make it work. So an hour a night, Monday to Friday, is doable, even if they have got, they've got commitments. And then on the weekend, 2.5 hours each day is also a commitment. But remember, it's an investment. It's an investment into the future. And that hard work, once it pays off and you're launched, it becomes passive. And again, a startup fee, we've had students launch with £1,000. So £1,000 is a ballpark figure. I've seen student launch with more, never less than 1,000. It's about 1,000 that you'll need. But remember, that's an investment into the product. So you're trading that money for a product that you then sell, every sale you make profit on the sale. So once you've sold all of your units, you have more than you invested, and it's just a rinse and repeat process from then on. So it's, rather than spending it, you look at it more as an investment. So yeah, that's an important point. Now, those 3 things, they're fundamentals. If you can overcome these 3 things and understand the business model, how it works, you can be successful at this. If I'd listened to everyone else, I'd still be sitting in class, looking up at the ceiling, wishing for something else in life, looking for some other opportunities, gazing out of the window, just wishing that I could be doing something different rather than being stuck in an office. And I'd want to be traveling the world, and I'm lucky enough to be able to do those things now because of FBA. So take action and go for it. Now, point number 3, follow a proven process to maximize success. So you've got options with Amazon FBA. You can try and piece things together online, lots of conflicting information, very stressful process, trying to work everything out, which is partly what I did, and I made a huge amount of errors and mistakes that cost me a lot of money, things that I just overlooked because I didn't have the proper training, right? When you train as a teacher, you train first, then you teach. You train as an accountant, then you become an accountant. Even when you work in a retail store, you have training first, so you don't mess up and you understand the systems, and it's an investment into the future. So I always look at it as 2 avenues, a sort of very stressful, difficult avenue that you could go down, or following sort of a bilinear system, a proven system that you can own, especially with a mentor as well, a step-by-step structure that just makes this whole process enjoyable, because it is enjoyable. The thrill, right, of having your first unit be sold on the marketplace, you scroll down and think, just sold my first product, my own brand, and it grows from there. So I always advise a mentor, someone with proven results, and following a structured program that demonstrates to you each step in easy to digest form for you to work through at your own pace, and make this process fun. So that's the 3rd point. I've seen many people come to me, lots of people come after they've launched and say, Dill, this has gone wrong, that's gone wrong. And I say, you missed those things that you overlooked whilst you were at the beginning stages or the middle stages. These are just easy things that you need to think about, but if you don't know, you can't do them. So following a proven process to maximize success is key, in my opinion. Now, what I'm going to do now is introduce to you the Amazon FBA UK Elites Academy. So the Elites Academy is a community that I've grown over the last year since finishing my work as a teacher. I've been growing this community. We're over 330 students now, with some tremendous results from normal people who've launched products on Amazon. And we're a family. We built a community on Facebook for students where everyone shares ideas. Everyone is very supportive of each other. Just innovative, forward-thinking entrepreneurs who are looking for something different, either not happy with work, wanting a bit more money, wanting to travel. Lots of different reasons why people started. Now, I decided to create a course and mentorship program because I had a vast knowledge with Amazon FBA, and I was a qualified teacher, and I had a lot of time because I'd stopped working because of my income from Amazon. So these 3 things came together with my knowledge that it was so important to have something like this, and there wasn't anything out there, and there still really isn't, that this is super important. So I created this, I launched it, and it's just been an incredible journey. So I'm going to run through the bundle at the moment. We've got a 50% coupon for people who are on this webinar to make the most of this offer, and you can see that below now. And I'm going to run through the complete bundle, which is the best it's ever been at the moment. I'm going to whiz you through my website and show you exactly what you get. And it's quite an incredible package at the moment, especially with my personal one-to-one mentorship that's included, which isn't offered to the same extent by anyone else out there. So I will jump into that and give you a demo and an intro into all of the content and the full bundle and the different parts that you're getting when you join the FBA Elite Academy. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, I do have some more advanced training for people who are really looking to capitalize on this opportunity and who really serious about doing it and want to have the proper support. So I run the FBA Elites Superseller Academy. So if we search Amazon UK course, I'm actually number 2, the Amazon superseller.com. Now, if we look here, I just want to give you a very brief breakdown of what you get in the current package, and you can click below and you can enroll in the course, and you can use the link below to access the website. Now we've got student testimonials littered throughout throughout my website, student results. Again, you feel free to go and have a look at these through the link below in the webinar, again looking at what's involved. Now if you can see here, we've got a total of 9 modules jam-packed full of step-by-step guidance in a similar fashion to what you're seeing now. So me as the instructor on the screen, demonstrating to you how to do everything in individual parts, holding your hand all the way. Now, it's very detailed, it's updated constantly, and it's the best that there is currently in the UK, in my opinion. Now, what do you get when you enroll? This is immediate access straight away. So you have access to all modules and video tutorials. You have daily, which is in itself worth over £1,500 based on the amount of effort and time that I put into creating that course. You have daily one-to-one email mentorship from me, so no external party emailing you. It's just purely me. 4 months of one-to-one mentorship, which is from my experience with students, ample time to get a product launched. You also have access to our new Learning Hub, which means you can ask me a question 24/7. It's essentially a knowledge base full of information that you can get answers for questions that you may have at any point in the day, whether it's day or night. You have access to all future updates of the course, so it's lifetime access. It won't go anywhere. I will give you unlimited product listing analysis and advice. So if you send me a listing and say, Dill, how do I improve on this? I'll break down different areas that you can pursue, that you can make changes to in order to increase sales. I also provide unlimited product feedback. So, you might have some ideas you want to send over to me. Dill, the profit margin is good. It's about £3,000 a month. Can you just validate the idea or give me some ideas of how to, create a USP? Unlimited. Also, you have access to our mastery group. Now, if I show you here, we've got 250 members in the group already who are course students, but we've got far more than that. But not everyone has got Facebook. So again, you have immediate access to this community, a very professional community where everyone shares best practice, asks questions, queries things. It's a lot of solidarity and camaraderie within the group. Forward-thinking entrepreneurs who are looking to make passive income in 2019. So you'll be joining these immediately, which is priceless in my opinion. I also provide you with a free 400 ideas or 400 private label ideas for you to start your journey. So, like I said, I not only give you 400 private label ideas, but I hold your hand and guide you along the journey as well through my mentorship program. But the course is enough on its own anyway. So you get all of this bundle. The course is enough, but you get extra mentorship to ensure that you do it correctly, and you get the 400 ideas. Now, if you can see the Learning Hub here. This is the layout, and you can have a look at this in the link below. And again, you can see some of the course content here. So extremely detailed breakdown of everything. So imagine you're a complete beginner with no idea. You haven't even heard of Amazon FBA. You could start this course on this lecture, and by the end you would know everything that I know. Everything that I know is poured into this program, and it's delivered in, hopefully using my pedagogy that I learned when I trained as a teacher. So it's super easy to understand. Now, you can see here, we look at setting up the business, looking at product research, very, very detailed sections on product research to make sure that you find that perfect product and everything to consider. We can see 2 modules here. We look at how to source, how to get them in, what to look for, how to find reliable suppliers, how to ensure that goods are delivered on time, what methods to use to ship them over. Everything that you could possibly imagine. I honestly haven't had anyone email me to this point after a year saying that they have found something is missing. So that is a testament to the quality of the course. Again, we look at account setup and product listing creation, optimizing your listing, creating your Seller Central account, breaking it down into easy step-by-step guidance for you to follow to skyrocket your product listing onto page 1 and 2 to get the sales that you calculated. Again, it goes on. Module 7, Module 8. It's a big course. You can work through it at your own pace. It's self-paced. Some people will complete it in a week. Others will take 3 weeks. Others will take longer. It depends how fast you work. Like I said, a few hours or 5 to 10 hours a week. 1-on-1 on the weeknight, and then maybe 2.5 on the weekend. So this is the opportunity, guys. The support network's there. Amazon FBA and the Elite Academy is growing massively. I hope you get involved throughout 2019. Thank you so much for joining the webinar. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful, and I hope to see you within the elite community. Have an amazing evening or morning or midday wherever you are in the world.